Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome to your ultimate destination for all things Dallas Cowboys. From the latest news, game analyses, rumors, to deep dives into player performances and strategies, we've got you covered. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a play. Let's dive into everything you need to know about America's team. Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer set social media on fire this week with a single quote that, frankly, got completely taken out of context. In his latest press conference, Schottenheimer said, "I think Dak is in the developmental phase. That sounds crazy for a guy who has played that much. But the minute these quarterbacks think they've figured it all out, that's when it's probably time for them to do something different." Boom! The headlines exploded. The talking heads went into overdrive, and Cowboys haters everywhere latched onto that first part like sharks in a feeding frenzy. Dak's still developing, they scoffed. How is your franchise quarterback? Not finished yet? But as usual, folks, the reaction was instant, loud, and completely misunderstood. People wanted a scandal, a controversy, a sign that Dak Prescott wasn't elite or was somehow still raw. But what Schottenheimer actually meant was something far deeper and more cultural. Let's set the record straight right now because this is important. That quote has been weaponized and manipulated by people who don't understand the context, or worse, just don't care. Schottenheimer wasn't sitting there in front of the media questioning Dak Prescott's talent, leadership, or readiness to be the face of the Dallas Cowboys. Not even close. The entire conversation started when Schottenheimer was asked about Joe Milton, the raw second-year quarterback trying to find his place on the roster. And all Shotty really said, all he meant is that all of his quarterbacks are in the developmental process. All of them. Whether you're Dak Prescott, an undrafted rookie, or just a practice squad guy, the job of an NFL quarterback is to keep learning, keep grinding, and keep getting better every single day. That's what developmental means in this context. It's about growth, not criticism. But here's the real piece of truth that almost everyone seems to be missing. Quarterback is, without question, the most cerebral position in all of professional sports. There's no such thing as a finished product at this position, ever. Not for Dak Prescott, not for Tom Brady, not for Patrick Mahomes, not even for Peyton Manning in his prime. The NFL is a constantly evolving chessboard. Defensive coordinators are out there every single offseason cooking up new blitz packages, disguising coverages in more complex ways, and forcing offenses to adapt. So if you're a quarterback who thinks, yeah, I've got this figured out, I don't need to evolve anymore, you are already losing. The moment you stop striving to be better, the game will pass you by. Guaranteed. That's what Schottenheimer was really saying. Not that Dak isn't good enough, but that no quarterback is ever allowed to think he's reached the top of the mountain. The best quarterbacks in history have all embraced this exact mentality. Think about it. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, they've all treated every offseason as a brand new climb, a new challenge. New defenses arise, new trends emerge. Cover 3 morphs into quarters coverage. Then teams start mixing and match zone principles. Blitz tendencies change as defensive coordinators adjust to what offenses did the year before. The NFL is like a pendulum, constantly swinging back and forth between offensive innovation and defensive counterpunching. If you're not evolving, you're falling behind. And that's exactly what Schottenheimer was alluding to. Not that Dak is some kind of unfinished project, but that he, like every quarterback worth anything, must always be pushing forward, always sharpening his mind, his technique, his approach to the game. It's not about being ready or finished. It's about being relentless in your pursuit of improvement. And the quarterbacks who are wired that way, who live in the film room and attack every day with a mindset that they haven't arrived yet, those are the guys who end up aging like fine wine. Those are the guys who stay effective deep into their 30s and even 40s because they've trained their brains to recognize every defensive wrinkle before it even happens. They see a safety creeping up into the box and know exactly what that means. They recognize the disguised blitz package just by how the nickel corner's feet are set. That's what being a quarterback is about, evolving to the point where you've seen it all. And you can make pre-snap reads that put your offense in the best possible position, almost effortlessly. And here's the thing that most people missed when they latched onto that quote. Schottenheimer wasn't making a commentary about Dak Prescott's status as a franchise quarterback. He was making a statement about culture. That's the big picture here. It wasn't about technical mechanics or playbook knowledge. It was about creating an environment in the Dallas Cowboys quarterback room where no one gets complacent, where every single player from the starter to the scout team, guys, is held to the same standard, continuous improvement, the part of the Shifan quote that changes everything. And the part that most people conveniently left out is the follow-up. The minute these quarterbacks start to think they've got it all figured out, Schottenheimer said, is probably the minute they should think about hanging him up. That's the key. That's the heart of the message. That's how Schottenheimer closed that statement, and that completely shifts the meaning. That's not an indictment of Dak Prescott. That's not a subtle jab or a passive-aggressive critique. That's a universal truth about the quarterback position and, honestly, about life in general. The moment you think you've mastered something completely is often the moment you start to decline. It's human nature. Comfort breeds complacency, and complacency kills. Schottenheimer was making it crystal clear that in his quarterback room, there is no space for that. He was laying down a cultural marker, a flag in the ground that says, if you're wearing a Cowboys helmet and playing quarterback, you are expected to come to work every day ready to improve, no matter who you are or how much success you've had. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In his own way, Schottenheimer was issuing a challenge, but it wasn't directed solely at Dak Prescott. It was aimed at everyone in that room. Joe Milton, the practice squad, guys, the backup quarterbacks, everybody. The message was simple and clear. No complacency allowed. No exceptions. No one coasts on past accomplishments. Everyone is expected to evolve, to push themselves, to keep climbing the mountain. That's the culture Schottenheimer is building. One of accountability, growth, and relentless pursuit of excellence. And frankly, that's exactly the kind of culture you want your offensive coordinator to be instilling in your quarterbacks. It's not about criticizing Dak. It's about raising the bar for the entire position group. That's leadership. So when Schottenheimer says Dak is still developing, he's not questioning Dak's status as QB1. He's not saying Dak isn't good enough or that he hasn't progressed over his career. Quite the opposite. He's setting a tone for the entire team. He's making it clear that being the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys doesn't come with a done stamp. It comes with an expectation to keep getting better, to keep studying, to keep finding new edges, new angles, new ways to beat defenses that are also evolving every single year. That's how you build a championship culture. Not by settling, but by constantly pushing for more, for better. That's what Schottenheimer is doing, and honestly, it should be applauded, not criticized. In the end, the biggest takeaway from this whole media frenzy shouldn't be about whether or not Dak Prescott is still developing. It should be about the standard being set in Dallas right now. This is a message that resonates far beyond just the quarterback room. It's about the kind of culture that head coach Mike McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer are establishing throughout the entire organization. One of accountability, continuous improvement, and rejecting complacency at every turn. And honestly, that's the only way the Cowboys are going to take that next step and finally make a deep playoff run. You need that kind of mindset from top to bottom, from QB1 all the way down to the last guy on the practice squad. Everybody works. Nobody coasts, no ceilings. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.